All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Eric. I'm the VP of Admissions here at NeoTech Academy. And we're thrilled to have you with us today because we're going to talk about something which is in the news every single day, and that is the subject of AI, specifically AI for software testing. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this, but not only is it so prevalent in our society today, but actually about 80% of US companies expect their employees, expect their contractors to have some form of AI skills in only the next 3 years. Think about that. Not 10 years down the road, not 20 years down the road, but in the next 3 years, 80% of US companies are expecting everybody pretty much to have AI skills. So that's where we come in. We have developed an AI for software testing boot camp. That's what we're going to talk about today. And we're not just going to talk about it, but you're going to get to sit in on essentially a class from our lead instructor. His name is Malik. He'll come on here in just about 15 or 20 minutes, and you'll be able to get what amounts to a free session. And you can let us know if this makes any kind of sense for you at all. If it does, you'll have our contact information. You'll be able to reach out to us, and we'll do everything we can to get you up to speed and get you to where you need to be. Because not only is it necessary, these AI skills, but I'm going to show you this in just a few minutes, the salaries go up too. So it's a very small investment, and we've made it very affordable for anybody. And you'll see that when I show you just a little bit later. But it's going to be a very small investment to potentially make a whole lot more. And it's going to be, it'll give you that skill set that you're going to have in order to make it in today's workforce. So why don't we do this? Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. So why add AI to your QA skill set? Well, I just talked about it. With 80% of US companies expecting this. And like I said earlier, it's not just a matter of them requiring it, but think about what it could potentially do for you. Maybe you're a software tester right now and you're making pretty good money, but you want to take it up a notch. Maybe you're taking one vacation a year, but you want to be able to afford two vacations a year. I saw this study which said that the more vacations we take, it can actually add to longevity, believe it or not, because it's good to get away and clear your head and really do the things that you want to do. So perhaps this can give you a little bit more freedom. What's the cost of freedom? How much is that worth to you? So faster employment in emerging AI and QA roles. You've got faster, rapid career growth with next generation testing skills, and we'll walk you through exactly what all this means in just a few minutes. And as I said, higher salaries as an AI testing expert, they're in very high demand. So we like to call it future proofing your QA career with AI skills. So maybe when you started out as a software tester, you were making in that, it depends on where you live and what company you're working for, but maybe you were in that 70,000, maybe 80,000 range. I know we've had a lot of our graduates who have gone on to become software testers after taking our software testing boot camp, and they're making six figures right out of the gate. Immediately they're making that. Not everybody does. Again, it depends on where you live and where you are, what company you're working for. But imagine getting paid 100 plus because you've now added this skill set to it. And so if you think about it, if you're working for a company now, either as a contractor or you're working as an employee, and the time comes for promotion, who are they going to promote? The person who has the AI skill set or the person who doesn't? If you're looking for another opportunity outside of your company, again, who is the company going to hire that you're applying for? The company with only QA skills or the person who's got those QA skills plus AI testing in addition to that? So be part of the AI-driven software development teams. That's a part of what our training is all about. No prior AI background is required. Again, we're going to teach you from the ground up, and you'll be able to actually work on real projects. So if you're joining us today and you are a graduate from one of our software testing boot camps, you already know that we give you actual work on real projects that you can actually then put on your CV to demonstrate that, yes, you've done this, you've done that, and so forth. And it helps to get your foot in the door with that first company. Because we don't just, go through PowerPoint slides and that's it. What we do is we go through PowerPoint slides. We train you via Zoom. We have live sessions. I'll go through the schedule in a second, but we don't just use slides and that's it. I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time learning almost anything that has any degree of complexity when it's just slides. You know, I have to have somebody, show me what it is that they're trying to teach me, then let me do it, and then you let me know if I'm doing it correctly. Let me know in the chat if you can relate to that. Anybody relate to that where you can't just, look at slides and that's really about it. You've got to have someone really show you, and then you do it on top of that, and they let you know if you're doing it correctly. And that's how I learn experiential training, and I think a lot of people learn that same way. I have friends who are pilots, and that's how they learned how to fly planes. They didn't just read some books on lift and the gauges and all that. They had to learn by watching someone else do it, go through the simulation process, do it, but having someone with them to making sure that they were doing things correctly. And that's our philosophy here. So we'll do everything we can to properly train you and give you that added skill set to make you more valuable. And that's really, again, what this whole thing is about. So a little bit of background on us, just in case you're joining us today and you are not one of our graduates from our software testing bootcamp, but for some added credibility, I guess you could say, Course Report, which is very well respected in this industry, rated us in 2023 as the best QA testing bootcamp. They also gave us that honor in 2024. Career Karma gave us in 2024 last year best software testing bootcamp. And we're keeping our fingers crossed. We think we might get another award for 2025. We'll see. They haven't come out yet. But guys, write down this date. This date is very important. That's the start of our next boot camp. And it's hard to believe it's already, almost January. Seems like the year just started, but January 25th of 2026, so not too far away, less than a month now, is going to be the start of our AI for software testing boot camp. Now, why a boot camp? Why do that? Because you learn in a very short amount of time what would take you a long time, maybe take you a few years. You'll be able to learn in a very short amount of time the skills that we're going to teach you, again, with experience on real projects. And potentially, when it's all said and done, yielding a salary increase of between $20,000 and $40,000. Now that's on average. Could you be a little bit below that? Sure. Could you be somewhere in the middle? Yeah. Could you even be ahead? Could you even be higher than that? Possible, but generally speaking, somewhere within this range, right in here. Now, software testing knowledge is required for this. So make sure everybody's clear on that part. For our software testing boot camp, it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, or anything like that. It's, no experience required in IT at all. This one is a little bit different because you do have to have software testing knowledge, before you can really proceed in this. It's a career-focused syllabus. You'll be acquiring some practical knowledge, AI-powered testing tools, the frameworks and automation strategies through the live classes. And again, I'll go through the schedule here in just a few minutes. Now, this is a career-focused boot camp. We always like to point that out because we have found that the students who have the most success, and by most success, the ones who do well in our boot camps, regardless of the topic, are people who are looking to, change their life, change their career, either add a skill set to what they currently have, or just get into an entirely new field altogether, which is the case in the software testing boot camp. For this, just like that one, you've really got to be thinking, you've got to take it seriously. That's what I'm getting at. The people who come on board and they look at it as a hobby. They don't really take it all that seriously. They're like, well, if I can pass this thing, great. If not, no big deal. They're the ones that aren't going to do too well. So we want people who are really looking to add this to their repertoire, so to speak, to make them more valuable in the workspace. So if you are career focused, then we want to talk to you. If you're more hobby oriented, this really wouldn't be the right fit. Let's just put it that way. Career focus, absolutely, you're in the right place here. So again, our primary goal is to prepare you for the IT industry's shift, and it really is a shift towards AI-driven software testing. Some of the tools that you'll be able to add to your resume, you've got Copilot, Cursor. I won't go through all these. You see them up here on your screen. API and performance testing experience with Logic Loop, so forth and so on. Okay. So self-healing test automation experience by using Selenium. So we don't leave any stone unturned. We really are going to give you expose you to a lot of different things to help your AI career, your software testing career, ultimately with your AI skills added in a very short amount of time. And again, you're going to see you'll see a sneak peek inside the boot camp here in just a few minutes. Okay. So in the course itself, we'll go into an introduction to AI, AI and software testing. These are the various, I guess you can say, like the contents that we're going to be talking about in the course. Not just talking about it, but actually demonstrating all of this. And concluding with capstone AI project. So again, giving you experience on actual projects so that you can put this on your CV, put it on your resume, and that's going to help you either get promoted potentially within your existing company, or when you're out there in the job seeking world, getting your foot in the door with a new company because you now have these very valuable AI skills. I mentioned Logic Loop a few minutes ago, TestNG. Guys, again, you name it, we're working with all the major ones. Test data generation. You got Gatling, you've got Testcraft, you name it. Again, we're not leaving any stone unturned as far as giving you exposure to the tools that you're going to need to have some experience with as you make that leap into an AI centric type of career, or just adding AI to your existing skills as a tester. Now, this is going to be the schedule. Notice the timing on this. We're doing Wednesday evenings. These are all East Coast time, so obviously Pacific, just subtract 3 hours, but 7 to 10 p.m. East Coast time. And notice it's on the weekend as well, for a few hours. So it's not really taking up that much time. We're looking at 9 hours during the course of a week. But the reason why I was saying, notice the time here. If you already have a regular full-time job, which probably almost all of you do, we tried to structure this in such a way so it wouldn't interfere with that. We've had single moms go through our programs in the past. We've had people with regular jobs. We've had people with one or two jobs, that have been able to actually do this. So I always look at it this way. If you feel like you can't do it, you're probably not going to be able to do it. If you feel like it's something you can do, you'll find a way to get it done. And this is not like anything else that's out there. Again, AI, not to belabor the point here, but it's not one of those optional things where, well, if I don't really have those skills, that's okay. Maybe for a little while. But again, studies have shown that about 80% of US companies want their contractors, their employees to have these skills, really regardless of industry, to have some AI skills in the next 3 years. So it really isn't optional at this point. It really is a matter of you've got to get it done sometime between now and then. Why not do it now? And we've got a special tuition offer, which I'll go through with you in just a minute as well. Okay. So I'm going to try to run through this as quickly as I can, but not go too fast. I want to save enough time so you guys get that sneak peek inside of Malik's class. Okay. So you can do this on your own. You can go to any type of job board and you can see for yourself how much does a software, QA engineer make, and then you start adding the AI skills to that. On average, you're looking at an additional $20,000+. I've never heard anybody regret making more money. I've never heard anybody say, well, I've made enough money, I'm good to go. I don't really need to make any more than that. I did have one person tell me years ago. I used to be in the financial industry. This is a long time ago, and he told me, well, I don't want to make too much money because then I have to pay more in taxes. And I'm like, that is the wrong way to look at it. I mean, to me, that's a good problem to have. You're making so much money that you have to pay more in taxes. But hey, maybe if you don't need the money, maybe you could help somebody else. Maybe you can be benevolent and be able to give more. That's one way to look at it as well. But not too many people turn down making extra money. So guys, these are some of the organizations organization and then companies that we have sent our graduates to. This is just a small sample. Amazon, CVS, you see the companies up here, Cisco, Oracle, and so forth. Where might you end up? I mean, that's really hard to say. Can I guarantee that you'll get a job at, you know, PNC or United Airlines? Can't guarantee that, but this is some places that a lot of our graduates are now employed. And we have graduates all over the world. Keep that in mind. We're based here in the US, but we have graduates that are literally all over the world. And you would imagine that to be the case. You would assume that to be the case. In the day and age that we're living in, you don't have to be, a citizen of a particular country. You can learn everything online. Let's do this. I'm going to segue into the tuition. So I'm going to go through the tuition. We have some discounts available that are available for a limited time because we don't really have that much time until the course actually starts. It starts in less than a month. And then I want to let Malik get as much time as possible to give you that taste of what the boot camp is actually like. All right, so let me run through the tuition and the discounts, the money back guarantee also. We got a money back guarantee on this. And then I'll let Malik take over and he'll go through his part. So the tuition, the regular tuition, which you're not paying, so don't worry about that, is $1,199. So this is going to be a newer boot camp discount. So we're taking $200 off. We've been doing boot camps for years. This is just one of our newer boot camps. So we're taking $200 off. We're also doing an early bird discount. If you do decide that this is something that you want to do and you do sign up over the next few days, then you can get an additional $200 off. So that'll bring the cost down to $799. And the way that works is you can pay in 2 installments. That's $399 at the beginning and then $400 during the boot camp. So guys, this is hardly anything in the big scheme of things. It's hardly anything. It's essentially an $800 investment, a very small risk to make a potential much larger reward on an annual basis. And that's it as far as the tuition goes. It's very straightforward, but take advantage of the early bird discount, the new boot camp discount. And again, Malik's going to come on here in just a few minutes and go through a taste of what the boot camp is all about. Now, if you are an alumni, here's what you also get. There are additional discounts. You just have to let us know that you are either an alumni or you were referred by a NeoTech student. Either way, we can bring the already very cheap the already very inexpensive tuition. We can bring it down even further when you reach out to us, and we can give you an even bigger discount. So it's getting to the point where it's really hardly anything as far as the cost is concerned. It's already cheap enough as it is. Now, a question that you might have, if you're new with us, then you might not be aware of this, but the way we work the tuition is we always have a money back guarantee. So if you do change your mind, it's zero deposit. There's no application fee. You can cancel for free anytime the boot camp starts, and we give you a 7-day money back guarantee. Okay, so you go through this boot camp. It's going to last a month, and then you actually get to finish 25% of it, and then you can say, well, hey, this isn't for me. AI is not for me. Maybe I don't want to stay in the IT industry any longer because I know I've got to have those skills. But I'm not really interested in learning about AI. I just want to get my money back and I'll just move on to a different industry altogether. Because you can't really stay in software testing and IT without having AI skills. And many companies out there, not even IT companies, again, are going to require you to have some AI skill. So maybe you decide after a week you're just going to retire from the workforce altogether then. Because you've got to have some AI skills. But if you decide for whatever reason it's not for you after attending for a week, then you'll be able to get a 100% refund, no questions asked. Now, how will you actually reach out to us? You go to neotechacademy.com. You can also book a call with our admissions team. Go to neotech.live/call. If you're not ready to call, just submit your interest by going to neotechacademy.com/apply. All right. But guys, I would highly encourage you, secure your spot now. And, after you watch the sneak peek, which we'll do in just a couple of minutes, and you decide this is something that you want to do, it's not a huge investment as far as cost is concerned. If you feel like it's something you want to do, don't procrastinate. Just get it done. So often, it's human nature basically to procrastinate and and put off the things that we know that we're supposed to do. And I think what happens a lot of times is people are just fearful. That's what it boils down to in a lot of cases. But we're here to hold your hand. We'll make sure that we have a lot of graduates around the world. We have the course report backing, the career karma backing, saying best boot camp, best QA testing boot camp. So we'll do everything we can to make sure that you've got the skills necessary to make yourself that much more marketable. And that's really what this boils down to, making yourself more marketable, which means more money for you, more freedom for you, more money for your family, being able to do things with your family that maybe you weren't able to do before. So you can email us for any questions, team@neotechacademy.com. You can also schedule a phone call. Again, that's neotech.live/call. Call us directly, 929-566-3919. However you want to reach out to us, we're giving you plenty of options here. But the key is just do so, because you're not there really is no reason, really isn't a reason not to do it. Let's just put it that way. We give you the skills necessary, we make it extremely affordable, and give you a money back guarantee on top of that. All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to bring on Malik. I had to go through that somewhat quickly because your time is valuable, and I want to give as much time to Malik as possible to walk you through a taste of what the boot camp is actually all about. So what I'll do is now I'll step aside. Questions, you know how to reach out to us. I'll let Malik take over. And guys, I know you'll enjoy the rest of this, and I'm glad you're joining us today.
Thank you very much, Eric. Well, guys, let me share my screen first, and there are a few points to go over before we proceed. Let me just start sharing. All right, okay. All right, so my screen is already shared, and all right, okay. Before we proceed, guys, let me just give you a quick intro about myself so that you know who will teach this boot camp. My name is Malik, and I am the lead instructor of this boot camp. I am one of the technical instructors at NeoTech, and I have been with NeoTech for more than 2 years now. In terms of other experience, I have more than 18 years in industry and academic experience. Currently, I'm doing a validation management job where I closely work with QA testers, in particular, other teams in validation domain. And I have a huge interest in any AI-related topics and applications, and particularly in testing. So let me just fully share my screen so that I can go over a few points before we go into the class directly. I saw some of your questions, and then I answered them as well while addressing these points. Guys, AI is quickly changing. So we might adapt the some of the tools, but trust me, what we usually focus on is like the most up-to-date, the most wanted, the most highlighted tools in industrial and like company needs. So we focus on what exactly the career requires from AI to have for QAs or for testers or for automation testers or testers in general. So I saw one of the questions, it was about if you are a manual tester, can you take this bootcamp? Yes, but the only thing that you have to maybe give some more effort or try to address is, can you catch with the automation? Can you work on the automation on yourself by your own and try to learn, let's say, Selenium, at least basic principles, or Playwright basic principles? If you can do that, that would be great. You can take this bootcamp with no hesitation. So this is also part of where you can get involved. Do I also have like local setting for tools that you can use for AI, completely local with no any interaction with the outside environment, yes, we do have that one. But let me just give you like a quick disclaimer here. You really have to have a powerful computer if you want to run everything on local settings. So if you decide to go on local settings, make sure that you have a powerful computer, great RAM, a great processor speed, and a huge memory. So these are like basic requirements for succeeding in like setting up a completely isolated local environment for your AI. Can we do that? Yes, we will do it. And I'll show you also part of it. So we have a broad stream of tools. And if you wonder why we have like a cover for all these tools or like range of tools, because we try our best to cover whatever fields that they may require generic stream of tools. So let's say, for example, if you understand Copilot very well and you know how to work with it, you master any extension that's similar to Copilot. So if you run Copilot on VS Code, you'll be able to run it also on Cursor. So if you know Cursor, you'll be able to run the same extensions that are used on Cursor. You will be able to run them also like VS Code or JetBrains, for example. Yeah, those are like key tools that can be generalized, and based on that, we have this aspect of addressing the tools or teaching these tools that can be generalized. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just answered this question then. So basically, we have local settings as I said, but in order for that to be successful, you really have to have great specifications on your computer. So this is just for you to have the idea. Yeah. Okay, let me move to the next. So what would you expect if you sign up with us, if you join our bootcamp, and I hope you will? What would you expect? I mean, in terms of modules, of course, we have like a generic introduction and like again local environment setting and like completely isolated local settings for AI and like different experiments with testing with AI. And after that, we get AI directly involved in software testing life cycle. So we try to have a complete touch on every cycle or phase of the testing life cycle where AI is involved. And we categorize tools and we try them. And we don't do that randomly or just like with no preset syllabus and hands-on. So we have projects for each of these modules, not complete end-to-end, but suitable for these modules. Once a module done, you can have that part of a project or a homework that you have already done ready to be integrated in the final project, or because we have a capstone AI project after all. So basically, once a knowledge has already set for you, we can start like frameworking. So we can create framework compatible with AI, or maybe modify some common frameworks that you guys must know as a QA and have them adapted to AI. And once that is done, we also move to how to integrate AI with advanced topics like database, for example, API testing, performance testing, load testing, stress testing, etc. So we have also integration with those, and we have also like mini projects for them as well. And we did this before in the previous batch, and we're planning to do it and even to improve it as well, involving AI in mobile testing. So we had like an entire session related to mobile testing, where we created a complete framework for mobile testing that's involved with AI and with a complete setting environment. The good thing is, once these modules are done, you will have a great idea on what to do next with an AI-compatible framework. So of course, we will initiate a project at an early stage of the bootcamp, but you can pile the knowledge that you have from these modules and integrate them with this project at an early stage. Once the bootcamp is done, you will have your project ready. So this is a part of the process. Okay. So regarding the tools, as I said, like we focus on the most famous, the most required, the most shiny tools that they can add up to your CV, and also they are frequently cited in job applications and industrial domains. So basically, yeah, these are tools that we we will be discussing. And as I said, like we will focus on the generic stream. Like if we teach, for example, testcraft, you may find a similar to it, so you can generalize it. So that's a stream. You learn a type of a stream that you can have in different settings. And by the way, you can see like TestNG, Selenium, Playwright. We're not going to go over the basics of those, but they are involved in the bootcamp by some means. So I wouldn't expect you to know all these tools or frameworks by heart, but you should have an idea about what they do. So basically, we will learn what's required from these tools over the duration of the bootcamp. So please do not be intimidated by this list. Yeah. Yeah, again, for like if you do not have like I would say a minimum, let's say performance let's say threshold of your computer, it won't be successful. It will keep on like running in an infinite loop, usually, like on local settings. You can chat with completely local set large language model. That's completely fine. But if you integrate it to create, generate codes for you to, let's say, improve your triage, or let's say the testing coverage, or etc. In that case, do not expect it to perform well. So yeah, I mean, I tried it with different like modules, and like the lowest of the modules and like the smallest of the modules. It works on the local settings, but it requires some good performance. So this is just a disclaimer from now. So that if you do not have like, I would say, do not expect to have like a good performance of AI on like 16, let's say, gigabyte RAM. It won't have that. I do not expect a locally set completely locally set AI, let's say, structure that works with such, let's say, setting. Also, like GPUs differ a lot. So in that case, if you have a powerful one, it would work. But the good thing is, again, just to iterate over this point, AI is rapidly changing. So we might come across with some modules that are stable on local settings. So until the bootcamp, I may come up with really good ones. I'm still experimenting. So on my own machine, they work locally. So just for you to know. But if you integrate them with something that is available on cloud, that's the best performance, or using their own commercial servers. Yeah. So let's proceed. Okay. I will just keep this one as short as possible. You have already gone through the timetable, but just for you to know, it is just 1 month. And within this month, we will have like 3 days a week and 3 hours for each of these days. So it will be Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and 3 hours for each of these days. And it's not really that hard to manage these 3 hours. For weekend, it will be like a daytime, like mid of the day, around the mid of the day, actually morning, so until afternoon. And for Wednesday, it will be 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, just to get us into the entire process, I would like to switch to a sneak peek. Let's take a class, a real class of what we are teaching, and then you can judge by yourself and see if it is for you or not. So you can think about, I didn't expect this one, so I might change, I might look for something else, or this is exactly what I'm looking for, without any hiding, without any any unexpected, let's say, surprises. So in this case, I will proceed with what we teach, as I said, in general, and address some of the tools and show you how AI gets integrated with, let's call them in this case traditional or classical frameworks that do not have AI. Okay, if I ask this question before we proceed, guys, as QA, it is recorded. Yes, this live session is recorded. Okay, so as QA, what do you think one of the hardest, or let's say, can we list some of the hardest parts of your job as a QA? So what is really difficult? Is it like the, let's say the test case creation, generation? Is it like the coding part? What is it? Is it the reporting? So what do you think? Which one takes a lot of time, or it is really hard to achieve, etc.? So let me take some of your answers if you would like to answer, and then I will proceed based on that. So if no answers, that's completely cool. I will address those. If you think about it as a QA, one of the biggest burdens that we have is actually the test case generation. So if you want to create test cases just in plain English, they take time. And you know what? You might forget edge cases, you might forget some of the boundary conditions and etc. So how can AI help me to figure these out? Well, there are tools to help you with that. And if you think like, can I use that, let's say ChatGPT to do this for me? Yes, it is possible. But it's not practical. Why it's not practical? Let's take a look at it together. How this is done. I mean, just like let's say a test case or a showcase. Now, if I want to test this login structure, let's say as a QA, I likely would just inspect it. And with this, let's say, entire div here, I can, let's say, take the entire div and copy it. I'll try to copy the entire element, and I will just go to ChatGPT. And I will pass this to it, and I will explain to ChatGPT that I would like to have, let's say, maybe a simple test, or let me go below this. Can you, or let's say directly, create for the element above all possible test cases in Java, let's say with Selenium structure. Okay, so can we do that? Of course we can. So is it practical? Definitely not. It works. It will provide you with all like the details that is needed. Logo container exists, logo image, etc., visibility, all other possible like items that you might think or you might not have thought about. And then it will provide you with like login tests and etc. Can we do that? Yes. Is this practical? Definitely not. Shuffling between one side to another, copying some content and passing it to an AI is not a very good process. I want something to integrate with my framework, right? So this is not exactly like the best part of AI, or I do not exactly expect from AI to help me with this structure, or with this style. So what I'm looking for in this case is, can I improve this process? Can I have a better view on this? For sure, we can have that one. But before we proceed further, okay, now I do have the same page here. Can I check what I did with ChatGPT without moving from this page? Proximity. I can. How? Well, if you check in the same, I mean the developer tools that you have in Chrome, you would find like you have an AI assistant. So there is an AI assistant that can provide you with something very similar to what ChatGPT is providing, or any other DeepSeek, or any other module, or any other software, sorry, AI software platform. So can I use the AI assistance that is integrated with my Chrome to figure out what I just did, like by copy paste and etc.? Yes. So if you see here with AI, look, the same div is highlighted. So I would like to ask this AI, which is free, completely free. This is completely free. You don't have to pay anything for it. Let me ask this AI to show me if we can figure out some test cases for this. So I can say like, can you explain? Can you explain the highlighted element? Okay, so let's see. It will just answer us and provide us with some other details like get computer style. Let me check. Execute. Oh, what is that? Okay, let me continue. Okay, so now it will give you all the details related to this element with extremely detailed technical parts that it gets from the DOM. And again, for those who asked, like, can we use this one? Definitely you're accessing, like, let's say an application of your company from a browser. If they allow you to use the integrated AI assistance on Chrome, that would be great. If it is not, then I'll show you how to do the local settings, at least with a quick structure. All right. So basically, it will give you all these details. Now, I will say, like, here, can you list or can you detail some test plan or testing plan for this element? Why am I doing this? I don't want to keep shuffling as a tester from one side to another. I want to, okay, sometimes the AI tries to run from the question, tries to not to answer the question. So what you can do, if you think like it is not giving you the technical answer for, let's say for this AI assistance, you can try in another way. Like here, in this case, I would say, what kind of tests can I apply to this element? So you can try always to reword if this is not like willing to answer you, but in some cases it gets really stubborn. So again, if this one is not exactly like your type and it would not give you the best benefit, don't worry, this is not exactly what we teach. I'm just trying to show you like how you can have a touch from AI that's integrated with tools like browser and etc. Although it should work and it should like provide, yeah. Yes, sure. Yeah, of course. I mean, it should, but the idea is like I will try to figure it out. Just give me a second. It should give actually more details. I will ask it like here. Just give me a second. End-to-end testing. Okay. We did teach test rigor. We did teach also Kusho. So we can pick up like certain platform and give you the idea about it. But for end-to-end platforms, usually they are not free. So you have to pick and you have to make sure which company, which industry is asking for, or like the company that you work for is offering what. If you are like, for example, using Jira, there are like different types of end-to-end testing there, or like Confluence, there are certain types of AI integrated. Some companies prefer other types of like end-to-end test sprite, one of the popular actually settings that companies use. We might think about some of those, but we will show you the idea how end-to-end testing platforms work. And then if you have the idea of a generic stream, you will keep on moving with the rest. So If this, as I said, if this AI assistant is not giving you all the details, that's completely fine. And this is not exactly what I wanted to show you in particular. What I wanted to show you is actually a better example. So a better example is what? Now I do have this element, and I'm just thinking about a plan for testing it, and I'm a bit kind of lost. So I will use a small tool, which is really interactive and quite handy, called TestCraft. And this TestCraft, guys, if you want to use it, if you want to have it, please download it and use it as an extension to Chrome. So it's available to Chrome. It's just an extension. Add it to your Chrome. And once it is added, you should be able to either find it from the extensions and add it, pin it to your Chrome, and you can see that you have this tool here. Once you have this tool set for you, you can play with its settings. How? You can go into the settings and choose which kind of framework that you would be using. You will use Playwright, you will use Cypress, you will use Selenium, etc., and what kind of programming language you want to code with it. So you can choose. I chose Selenium and I chose Java as a framework. And I will get back to pick elements. So just those, you see, you have pick element, test, generate test ideas, automate, check accessibility. So I will pick an element. So here it will allow you, once you click on this item, it will allow you to choose an element. So you should be somewhere with your within your application where you want to test. I will highlight this. And now it's chosen, it's selected. I'll get back to my test craft. I will say generate test ideas. And let's take a look. So I will look at the test ideas generated automatically by TestCraft. And TestCraft is completely free, guys. It's completely free. So look at these possible ideas. And you can edit them. By the way, you can add, you can remove, and we will see what we can do with those. You can copy them completely. So verify that a user can successfully log in with valid username and password, valid login, and check that show password feature reveals the password correctly and when clicked. So for example, this one, if you want to confirm that this one works, you can try to click on a show password and see. So this one is not disregarding it. So excuse me, it's not disregarded. It's considered with the positive test cases. Also ensure that login button is enabled. Sometimes you try to log in, but the login button is not enabled. So when you click on it, there is no use in this case. So you should confirm that it is enabled when a username and a password are filled or provided. Validate that the user receives a welcome message. So once you log in, will you receive a welcome message or will you move to another page, etc.? So let's move. I'm not going to explain those. I assume you already know, but what I'm saying is you can do this one to any element. So I just did it to the login. I will shift from the login to somewhere else and show you how it works. So if you decide to take those, I will just highlight all those and positive and negative test cases and show you how we can make use of these test ideas to convert them into an automation work, into codes. So I'm not going to go with the creative test scenarios. You can always pick those if you want. You can modify. By the way, if you are not happy with this, you can modify it. You can change, amend it, or do some change to it. Now I will show you the power of such a tool. Let's automate and let's look. Guys, how long will it take from you to create test codes for those? To add them to a ready framework that you have? It will take plenty of time. I mean, it could take like a couple of hours if you are really fast, maybe an hour or so. How about if I get it ready? And of course, I mean, according to the style that you have or the framework structure that you have, maybe you are using like a POM with Page Factory and etc. So these locators, you can throw them to separate pages right? So you can have those into separate pages, and then you can have your tests separately, right? Login test. You can have like test successful login. You can have like show a password. So I don't need to create those on my own. Do you need human intervention, manual intervention with AI? Definitely yes. AI does not replace human being or the existence of professionals completely, not yet. So whenever you create a code or like generate something with AI, make sure that you test it and you have a look at it. Why? Because AI hallucinates. So it may happen that AI wouldn't give you the best results. So for you, you can take a look and see, well, you see, in this case, it's not maybe the best structure that you would hope for. Yeah, it is a Chrome extension, yeah. Testcraft, if you write it in Google, for example, Testcraft, you will find like Testcraft extension. You should be able to find it and install it to Chrome. It fits Chrome, okay? So here, as I said, like you might not have those. You might have this one in the base class or like test base or whatever, but still, I mean, these tests assertions would work, right? So instead of creating those on my own, I can rely on what is created for me. Also for the quitting the driver can be like, it can be a hook, it can be any other structure, but can I have these tests set? Yes, well, you have already tests 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 created for you in just like few seconds with a great tool that can be used. Now let me show you. Maybe I can. This is like for login, and you say like everybody is testing the login, right? So I will log in and let's try some other element. Let's try to take, let's say this PIM, for example. It's just like a button in this case, or maybe I can take the entire frame here. Let's just pick an element. So I will open testcraft, I'll pick an element, and I will go to PIM. So I will choose it. Now it's already chosen. So I will get back to testcraft. I will say generate test ideas, and let's see what kind of test ideas. So we do have positive tests, verify that text is displayed. One of the earliest or like the most basic tests that we apply as testers is like verifying that I have the correct text, right? And also checking if the label is accessible, if maybe also like if this button is clickable, etc. So basically, you can have all these positive and negative tests. You can modify them. You can add to them if you want. You can change their structures. And if you want, you can select some of them. Let's say I select only like a couple of them, couple of each, and I automate them and see if we automate those, what we would end up with. So I will automate them. And as I said, guys, you can use like, if you are not a Selenium, let's say, user, you can try with Playwright or Cypress. There are options for that. So in this case, you can see your test cases here generated. And yeah, for those who said like about unit tests, yeah, sure. I mean, you can have this is for exactly we are speaking about one element. If you want to have like end-to-end testing complete and a complete application, it depends on how your framework is working and how you set it. I'll show you what we did in the previous boot camp and how we had like an end-to-end front end and back end testing for also for this application Orange HRM. So these test cases, you can take the idea from them. You can have their codes if you want. You can modify their codes if you like, and etc. So basically, they will give you like a basic structure of testing process, and you can think about it as a tester, how I can benefit from those for sure. As I said, like test ideas provided by Testcraft are great for you to use. Why? You might forget about some of the boundary cases, edge cases, etc. They give you great insight, and they save a quite good amount of time when you think about like I don't want to create everything on my own. I already know how to do it. Yeah. Of course, I will, but yeah, I don't want to shift from from the page right now. I will share it at the end of the class. Sure, no worries. Okay, so as I said, then you might think like, but wait a minute, is this the power of AI? Am I going to use like click on an element each time, and then with this element, I will try to get test ideas, and then with these test ideas, create separate tests, unit tests, and if I want to integrate them, will I need to go and copy and paste those over and over again? No, that's not what we are teaching. We are teaching you just one of the opportunities. So is this a good tool, a handy tool? Definitely. It is really great, especially in just forming ideas for you. But let me tell you, what we really teach is something a bit more comprehensive than that. What do I mean? Now, I will just move into VS Code and show you like few things that we do with AI. But before that, because I promised, let me just show you how on the local settings we can use completely local models. So for those who asked and wondered about whether we can use AI 100% locally or not, yes, guys, for those who are interested, you can download something called Ollama. Let me show you this. Let me open it. It's called Ollama, Ollama. And it's quite straightforward. It will take just some time. It's a bit big. You can download it and install it to your machine. It's safe. There is no problem. This is like quite popular platform for large language model for AI. And yeah, well, it will take some time. Yeah, for sure. That's correct. And you can choose the models that you want. You can add models if you want, and you can download these models, but please be careful. Some of them are really huge. You can go visit like Ollama website. It's open source 100%, Sophia. It's 100% open source. Let me show you. It won't harm us to go to Ollama directly. Okay. So this is Ollama. This is how it looks like. You can create an account with it. So if you are interested in, in using Ollama, you can create an account. I will log in with my Google account. So I'll just move on with my Google account. So okay, you can have like here there are like many models. You can either search from here or search from the search field for the models of your interest. How to choose a model? Guys, be creative while choosing a model. I mean, you can either read about its details or you can go to like a community, like Ollama community, and see the Society of Ollama. What do they say about this specific model? So is it the model of your interest? So of course, you may think about the parameters used for this model and its size and what is it best for and etc. So I personally use a lot of them just to experiment and see how they work. But once you install Llama and you see that, you will see it like here in the background of your computer is like, it should be up and running like this. You'll be able to chat with it. Now I can't disconnect internet. If I do, you'll not be able to see me. We will lose the Zoom session, but you can on your own, not right now. You can disconnect internet and chat with Ollama. I mean, it's completely fine. You can choose the model that you want to chat. It will be white first time when you install it. You can add to it. You can add models to it. That's completely easy. It's just by one instruction. And once, let's say I will use DeepSeek. Let's try to chat with DeepSeek. And I will say, let's say here, let's ask about, let's say the login. I will say create positive. Sorry, excuse me. Positive. No, positive. And negative test cases for a login functionality. And I will say, don't forget to add edge cases. And let's chat with this model and see what it would give us. This is local. Yes, it does. It has local API, but you see, if you want to get with API, it's a bit more detailed. Well, this is it's a bit big. So you see, this is what I was telling you guys. It's looking for a bigger memory size than what I have now. I can change the model, so I can look for a smaller one, but Coder is not very good. Let me try with the smaller one. Gamma 3 is okay. Let's try with this one. So I will try to re-ask this question. I can copy and paste it again, chat with it again. So let's try. So that one didn't work. As I said, it's a huge one. It requires more memory than I have right now. I mean, on my computer. It might work for you if you have a better performance of the device that you have. But as I said, you would be able to get this one chatting with you 100% free on local settings, 100% local. You can disconnect the internet if you want, but not right now. As I said, like when you have like your private, let's say, moment, you can just disconnect the internet and try. So you can see like it is creating these ideas and positive and negative test cases with pretty good style. I mean, it's not really hard. And this is completely free, completely local. It's on isolated environment. And I believe even like if you are in a strict company, they wouldn't mind to have that one. Of course, I wouldn't speak on their behalf, but as I say, like from industrial perspective and like privacy concerns and security concerns, this should not be a problem to most of the companies. But of course, this will again, it depends on the company's policy. So you can see like it's crafting those in a really neat and nice way. If you want to create those on your own, it will take some time. So I'm just giving like the login functionality. There could be more complicated processes. So it could be like much more complicated than that, and it will help you to craft those, add to them. And if you want, you can also ask the same model to create for you like the tests for those or to integrate them in a framework, etc. So from my experience, the locally available models completely depend. So they might not provide you with the best outcomes, but yet they are really useful, especially like if you use them for what they are designed for. Like some of the models now Gamma 3 is not exactly great for coding, but let me show you. For example, Quinn. Quinn 3, for example, Quinn 3 Coder is really good for coding. And like there are also like smaller ones, like Quinn 3 30. This one is a bit big, but there are smaller than that that can be used for coding. So you could try this one also for coding. Let's try it for coding. Still creating cases actually, but we can shift this one. So we have the edge cases, and it made like few of those. How many? Eight negative cases, 5 positive cases. And you as a QA, you can check, did it miss anything? You can ask it. And you can like have a completely free, similar to ChatGPT environment where you can have a chat with it that doesn't send your chat to a cloud or to another server. This is completely local. Okay. So I will switch between these. Let it is still running. So it will just give like few other notes about priority, environment, etc. I will convert, or I will move the model, and I will tell like just one case. I will say this one, for example. I'll convert it into test case with, I will use, let's say, Java Selenium. So I will say here, can you convert this test case into Java Selenium compatible with POM structure. And by the way, if there are typos, you don't have to worry about it. It will understand it somehow. So let's try to hit this. Oh, okay, this is not downloaded. I will cancel. So I'll pause. So I will try another one I have. This is a bigger one. Actually, I can try DeepSeek Coder. And this is like this is also like something that I can try. So it should not be a problem. Let's give it a go. Did I copy the correct test case? I forgot the test case. I'll try. I'll stop it. I'll copy the test case. I didn't pass it. Excuse me, guys. I'll copy it again. Okay, so let's do it one more time, guys. Please bear it with me. I'll take this next. Okay. Okay. This should be quite enough. Oh, okay, couldn't read it. So I can copy and paste it directly, but yeah. Okay, so it is like it needs some more context. We can provide that context. It's not a problem. It's asking me like provide some more context. So I can do that. I can completely provide all these details and let it to decide because it wants like complete context from you. Okay, how do you want me to create a test case for you? Do you want to use TestNG? Do you want to use JUnit? Do you want to use this and that? So it is also this is a great point so that I highlighted. When we create things with AI, the context is very useful. And I will show you also how we usually use the context so that AI does not hallucinate and it does not put things on its own. Actually, this one is a really great advantage. Why? Because it is not just completing whatever missing on its own. It expects from you more like details. Do you want Java suite with TestNG, with JUnit? What do you want with this and that? So you can add those. So you can choose. I mean, you can select which one that you would like to do it with, and you can ask this coder to create it for you, and it will do it. But do we need to use this one? As I said, like this is completely separate from a development environment. I have a framework, and this framework is set in an IDE. So how can I chat with an AI or ask AI to help me with the content of the framework that exists in an IDE, not separately like this? But as I said, like if you want to do this one on a local environment, that's completely fine. It should be Llama should work and should allow you to do that. But let's say I do have that already frameworked, and the framework is available in environment like VS Code. If you don't use VS Code, maybe Cursor. If you don't use Cursor, maybe JetBrains. So these are the most popular ones integrated nicely with AI. So we use it, our bootcamp, we use VS Code, and whatever you can do with VS Code, you'll be able to do it with Cursor. So it is more or less the same structure. And what we do is we add extensions to VS Code, and these extensions allow you to use the power of AI. And I would tell, if you are interested in experimenting and seeing, checking, working with a great extension that provides you with a 1-month trial of Pro version, you can try GitHub Copilot. It gives you 1 month completely free Pro access. And this is the one actually, the one I'm showing right now. And it has like different types of modes, ask, edit, plan, etc. And it has like plenty of models ranging from like, very powerful ones like Sonnet 4.5 to Claude Opus, and like the common ones like Grok, like, GPT-4, for example, the elder ones, etc. So you can select any of these models while working with it, or you can keep it auto. It gives some discount with it. But anyway, for you, if you want to try it, if you have not tried it before, it provides you with completely free 1 month trial, and then you can decide on your own. Okay, so what can we do with these extensions if I am running a framework? So this is the idea. Let's say, for example, I would like to have like a touch on this login functionality earlier from my framework, and I would like to see some AI agent to help me with that login, or to help me coding some stuff related to login. Or can I, let's say, refactor some of the codes of my framework using the help of AI agents? Before we proceed, guys, for those who are not used to VS Code and do not know how to use like the extensions, you can always refer to this, the extension icon. So it will open for you the extensions, and VS Code is completely free. You can download it and use it. Install it is quite straightforward. So if you expand the extensions from here, you can search for any extension available. So for you, you can search, in this case, if you are interested in trying the GitHub Copilot, you can type GitHub, Copilot, or Copilot directly. You should be able to see. So it will reflect what's available here, and you will choose the one usually with like the check sign. That's the authentic one. Or you can follow the link from the official GitHub website. It will guide you to the right extension directly. So you can install it. This is like an install button. There, if you don't have it, if this is the first time that you look for the extension, you will find install. Like, let me choose one. Let me choose, let's say, something that I have not installed, like this. You'll click install and it will be installed. And once installed, you'll be ready to use it. But as I said, what you need to do is you need to have an active account in GitHub, and you can use the free trial. It provides you with 1 month free trial, so you will make up your mind if you want to use it or not. Okay, if I have GitHub Copilot, what can I do with it? Well, this is exactly where the power of AI kicks in. So what we did before, like, we used like local setting, we used like testgraph to check some of the test ideas, to automate some stuff, but I don't want that to be done, as I said, from completely separate environment. Like I'm on a browser and my framework is on VS Code, and I'm shuffling between these two. I don't want that. So I want this to be done from one centralized place. So let me show you. For example, we did this project completely created by AI. But you know what? I don't want you to have like, oh, okay, how did you create this one? What did you do to create this one, etc. I'll give you like a sneak peek on it afterwards. But just before we proceed to any further, let me create a completely new project. Let me just have not a file. Let me create a project. Let me just get out of this one. Extensions. Okay, let me. Sorry. Yes, it is. That's correct. Maya, that's correct. If you are a student or a teacher, academic, for example, you can get a free subscription for Copilot, but of course, you need a proof for that. Apart from those, if you're not a student, if you're not an academic or a teacher, what you can do, you can use the 1 month trial and make up your mind. It's $10 per month or $100 per year. So if you think it is powerful, it's worth the payment, then you can decide to go for it or not. So let me just create an entirely new project. Okay, or maybe I can have like okay, you know what? We do have already like some projects before. I can open one of them and show you how this works. Let me open one of these projects and show you how those work. Okay, and these projects, guys, if you see, like, they are all crafted with AI. So minimum manual work. So let me check Cucumber framework. Yeah, let me open this one. And I will select folder Okay, so I do have now a project that is AI compatible. And the point that I'm willing to show you that we will teach you from scratch is like, okay, we have different tests here with this project. And with this project, if I'm willing to do some, let's say, extra testing, or I would like, let's say, Copilot to help me with some of the testing processes, or I would like Copilot to form for me some of the testing mechanisms. Can I do that? Definitely you can. So the ideas or the ways can be separated into like different streams. How? Earlier, if you remember, I said like what we can do, let's say just to show you like the login functionality, basic function testing. You could copy, let's say, the login functionality. You could go to the inspector and copy the login process here, or the div, complete div. You can copy the entire div if you want, or you can copy the only the login, let's say, div if you want. And with that, you can ask AI to create for you the test cases, but I don't want to copy and paste. I want AI to use its power at most. How? Okay, look, guys, what we can do. Okay, it needs me to log in. Okay, well, that's not a problem for now. I'm not going to log in as of right now. Okay. All right, let's think about this. If I have an AI agent, and this agent can help me to code things, to create tests, to do manual testing work, how can I do it? Now, this is the idea. You can, as I said, you can chat with it. You can chat with this agent and ask it to do things for you exactly like ChatGPT and other AI bots, and it will give you like a plan and etc. But is it exactly what we are looking for? This is not what we are looking for. What we are looking for is a bit higher level. What do I mean? I do have a chat agent. I do have like an AI agent that helps me to do some stuff with my project. Okay. And with this project, I would like the work to be completely done with AI. So if I'm interested in a completely done work with AI, means I will interact with this, let's say, let me pull this one down. Let me close this. I will interact with this website. Can an AI agent, like let's say ChatGPT, can it navigate to this page and then click on elements and interact? No, it can't do that. So you have to be its guide. You can take a copy of those or the DOM, complete DOM, and give it to the chat bot and ask it to do things for you. But I don't want this. I want AI to do this part for us. So in order for you to do this, what you can use is something we call actually MCP servers. MCP servers are model context protocols. They work as an intermediate between a chat agent or an AI agent and an application similar to this. So if you would like to automate a test and do that test 100% instead of manual, automated using AI, you can have an MCP server installed with VS Code. And with this VS Code, you can ask AI here, for example, Copilot, to do a planning or certain steps of test for login and etc. And it will do it for you in an automated way. So let me show you. And again, I don't want to mess up with this one. It's already created. I will just, let's create a new okay, I can create a new test within this one. Or yeah, okay. Or let me open AI project. Or this one is okay. This one is okay. I will ask this AI agent to do this. So guys, please watch this. This is important. So I will do like this. using Playwright, MCP server. And guys, I will explain to you how you can have those also, but just this is a sneak peek. Create a login, a separate login test to orange Chiran page. Okay, so this is just a simple instruction. Let's see how it will interact with us and it will do what is required from it. So let me shift this one a bit here. It will take some time. I didn't choose any of the models. It's selected Claude. This is one of the most powerful ones, actually. It will do its thinking and like planning. You could use like not the agent mode, the planning mode to plan, but agent mode will read your project files and it will create what's necessary for you. So now it has already scanned and found like I do have login. Okay, but I said create a separate one. Okay, so it's creating it. And let's wait and see what we would get with this one and to where we would get it. Now look, it's created. This is with JavaScript. Okay, so I will ask you if you want to keep it or not. This one you can choose what to keep or what to edit and etc. So it will provide all these details and it will try to figure it out. Okay, let's see. Okay, keep. I will keep those. Now it's not navigating to the page that I wanted. It went to another Orange HRM. That's completely fine. We can test it. They both can be used for testing. It's obviously putting like the valid and invalid password within the test. I can customize that one. But what did it create for us here, guys? If you look, I do have a complete test with for this website for the valid and invalid login. And you can have like the test, how they are supposed to be validated and etc. And you can run those. Even let's say I have no idea about Playwright. I'm just saying, as I assume like I have no idea. So I can say, okay, how to run it, how to run this test. Okay. All right. Okay. Now look, method one, using Playwright tools, direct execution. Okay. So navigate to your input, etc. So allow and review. Okay, that's fine. I'm allowing the MCP server that I already installed. I will show you in a few minutes to do this process for me. So what is going on now is I will allow as well. What we are doing right now, I will, no, not Anthropic. I will show you there. Just give me a second. Okay. I can allow for the whole session. I just don't want to do that. I don't have that habit, but it's okay. Let me allow this whole session so that I don't bother you guys. Okay. So it will navigate and try to do this for you. Let's allow this one completely for Playwright as well, so that I would not take our limited time for allowing each and every one separately. Okay. Okay. So now it logged in. I did not do any manual work. It logged in. I will not save this one. It did the test. Now it succeeded, and it brief you with the results. How did the chat agent? Now, Leo, you asked me, it auto chose Claude Sonnet. How did it choose it? Claude Sonnet is really great for coding, and also like Opus is great for coding. So it decided to go for it because I said, go auto. So it chooses whichever among those like the most rational one for this process. And to give you like also a sneak peek, some of those are much cheaper than others, but there has hallucination and like power is not, yeah, their power is not really as good as others. Like you see, for example, this one is really expensive. It's multiplied by 3. So the price of using this one is multiplied by 3. And if you think about the price, what is this price? For each subscription you have with Copilot, for example, you have certain quota per week, per month, etc. So you have those that can run out if you use like very expensive ones. I would say go auto, especially for beginners, until you know what best fits you, and that will do this process for you completely and create tests and maybe modify tests and etc. So I will, you know what? This one did not terminate the page. Okay, it's created a test, it got in and did not terminate the page. I will tell it to do this one. Can you uh, exit or terminate, quit the page or the browser after logging in, okay, and modify the test accordingly. Okay, let's see. So it will just do some modification for this to this test, and it will add the quit functionality to this test as well. Okay, who created this one? AI. Is it the best? I mean, structure? Might not. As I said, might not. And likely you need to have like tuning. And the good thing is, let me tell you, you can tune it with the power of AI. So how do we do that? So I will just keep those and I will say, okay, run it again, rerun it again, rerun it, test again. So as I said, like how we can do it, like the context is important. Your knowledge is also important. It can make AI to use the most of its power in least cost. Okay. Also, how can I create a context? You can use like either the planning mode, let me show you, which is much cheaper to use, or maybe another open source AI. So you can use that one completely free. But let me show you a few things after this one. So it logged in and confirmed that it logged in now with no intervention, with nothing I did, with no even like any knowledge of mine related to automation. Let's say I have literally no idea about Playwright, and I did not even check this page. I just give an instruction to this chat agent, go to that certain orange terrain and do a login test. With what framework, with what automation? With Playwright. So it created it. Can we validate this one? Of course it did, it worked, but can we check the tests and modify them and tune them? Definitely. And it depends on your actually ability to read through these tests and see what fits you or what should be revised. And for that, let me explain to you guys. We create usually read me, and we provide it as a direction for this chat agent. So I never create a project randomly like that with just a prompt. I create for myself an extensive project guide with README, or let's say project guide or project guideline. And then I ask the chat or the agent to do the project created according to these instructions. And it differs a lot. So how can we do that? Now, you see, whatever you open will show up here. But if you want, you can always like add files as a context, tag things, or you can use like with the hash code, you can tag any file or add any file or add something related to the problems available in the output or the screen and etc. So you can do that. One thing I wanted to show you, three things actually, not one. The first one is we are in the agent mode. Agent mode has access to your project. Now you can do something which is much cheaper and like usually we start with it plan mode. Plan doesn't change any of your project structures and files. You can plan with it. So you can create this plan with planning mode and you can put it completely auto. Yeah. That is what we are doing. So this project is completely created with AI. So I created like the guideline and I gave the instruction to Copilot and it created the whole project for me. But as I said, what you need to do is you need to be very particular about what you will create. Give the whole details. Instead of creating those on your own, you can create a guideline using like maybe ChatGPT or DeepSeek. You can give the input as prompt. I want to use Selenium with Java codes and with page object model. And with this page object model, I want to have separate pages for this and that. And you provide all these details. Reporting, I want the reporting with extent like maybe Maven Surefire. And my project should support, let's say, JUnit and etc. So you can have all these added to like a guide. My project is actually Selenium. So you see, let me show you. My project is essentially Selenium, but I added to it Playwright. Let me show you. You see Java? Look at these tests here that we have. Take a look. What is this? This is a Java. Can I have Playwright and Java Selenium, JavaScript, Playwright, and also Java with Selenium in the same project? Yes, but they will be separate. Okay, so like here, the structure that I created here is completely organized for Java-based Selenium. And if you want, you can create like separate tests and organize them or keep them like just simple tests with JavaScript maybe or TypeScript and Playwright. I wouldn't recommend that because this is just for educational purposes. I would say if you want to create a project, either it should be Selenium or Playwright or Cypress, etc. Of course you can do. This is a good question about the API. Can we do API testing? Well, this is a good question. Look at this. This is K6 AI, so it's completely for endpoints testing. So we created separate different types of testing for APIs. So we did, and we also reported certain results with Allure, so reporting. So that's completely possible. I'll get into backend in a short while. Just give me like 5 minutes to explain to you about MCP for those who do not know. Why I'm saying this? Because the power of using AI integrated with development environment like VS Code requires something we refer to by MCP servers. So if you see, let me show you here. I have MCP servers for pretty much everything that I use. I have an APM MCP. I have an MCP for SQLite or SQLite, SQLite. And I have an MCP server for Playwright. I have MCP server for MySQL. I have MCP server for pretty much everything that I use for automation. How will you get those? Well, we will teach you how to get them and set them up. So this is something that we teach within our course. We add these model context protocols to our settings in VS Code, and they will allow, and they are free. They will allow you to interact with the application using AI. So instead of copying and pasting like earlier or chatting like earlier and passing, then taking the code and copying it, I would just create a plan entirely available from Copilot, or maybe if you don't like Copilot, you can use Codex. And for you guys to know, if you don't know, Codex is actually the model or the chat agent or the extension from ChatGPT. And it's cool. I use it. I use it a lot. With 5.2, it's really great. So, but I still would prefer Copilot. I'm using both, and they're really handy. Copilot is much more adaptable, especially for like code conversion, code also creation or adaptation of codes and etc. So it's much better. Okay, for backend, let me show you guys. I have also like certain tests for backend and where we connect a server. And this server we also teach in our bootcamp. This is our own server for this page for this application where we do front end and back end. What do I mean? Front end is like we create a completely fully automated test where the MCP takes your prompt for adding an employee, and it does add an employee completely automated using the power of AI from the front end. So it does add the employee, like clicking on this button, automated by AI, adding an employee here, saving it, etc. And then it confirms that it is added to this list. And after that, we also confirm that it is added to the back end, to the list of employees on the database. How do we do that? Again, we do have an MCP server for MySQL. So the test can be done from front end with maybe Playwright MCP server, but also you can use Java, but the underlying test can go through Playwright MCP server, okay? And then you can also run this test with MySQL. Do we teach that? Definitely. So can you generate these codes 100% using AI? Yes, and that's what we teach. So this is also like a sneak peek of what we do. We will also teach you how to completely test, diagnose, run like comprehensive tests, etc. With API, just as I said earlier, like we have performance testing, normal testing of APIs with like AI, compatible with AI, as well as database testing, different scenarios of database testing with completely compatible AI. And just to let you know, also, we create a completely comprehensive project. Let me open it within our the teaching of our bootcamp. Let me try to get this one from here. Yeah. Okay, just a second, guys. I think I saved it somewhere else, but it should be here. Yeah, okay. AI project, this one is okay. Let me open it. Oh, excuse me. All right. I opened, did I open project or not? I think I opened file. Let me open project. Yeah, I did something wrong earlier. Okay, this one should work. I was trying to open a project, but I selected open file. So this is a completely compatible AI project that we created within the teaching of our bootcamp. So we added Playwright MCP server, we created the source with the reporting mechanism, and we added something really interesting to this reporting mechanism. We added locally diagnosed results with Olama. What do I mean? I created with our previous batch AI helper class that uses the power of Olama models available locally to analyze the results that our test provides to us and give to comments on them and provide us with like certain resolutions for problems, sometimes like ways to resolve issues, recommendation for rerunning process, etc. So this kind of project, extensive project. We will do it together. If you are with us, hopefully you will. And this is exactly what I told you guys. Let me show you. This is the project guide. I usually do this. I create this project guide completely with maybe ChatGPT or any, like, let's say, plan from Copilot or from Codex that creates for me an extensive guide for the project, how it goes. And if you think like, oh, wait a minute, this is really extensive. Like how many lines? Almost 1,000 lines, 800 plus. How do you create this one? I don't create it manually. I revise it, review it. That's true. Why? Because I don't leave, a possibility for AI to hallucinate and just give me like rubbish, maybe design. So I go over it and check what is correct, what is not, and that doesn't take really that long. But to create all this guide, I use like ChatGPT, maybe DeepSeek, or even the plan version of, the plan mode of Copilot or Codex, and I create the entire structure and guideline, and then I give an instruction to Copilot to create the project with this guideline. We did this. I did not create a single file of those manually, not a single one. All of it was created with this guideline, and we will learn how to do that as well. So basically, this is what I wanted to show you. And this is like a sneak peek on what we will be learning. And if you think like this is overwhelming, don't worry, because we have like 36 hours, not just 1 hour, to explain those. And we will have also other topics like how to dive into like database, how to dive into API and performance testing and etc. Because they have like their own topics and their own class time to be explained. But yeah, basically what I give you as a sneak peek today is what we teach at the bootcamp. So if you have a question, please have it. If I didn't answer any of your questions, please relist it. Yes, VS Code will be our main one. No, we will not use Eclipse or IntelliJ. They are not really very good with AI extensions. I would prefer VS Code or Cursor. Both of them are really great. JetBrains is great, but we're not using it as of right now. Trust me, if you are not comfortable with VS Code, it's really a high time to use it. It's really great. It's lightweighted, can be extended with extensions. Learning it is quite straightforward, so it might not be a hassle for you at all. I don't think it will add to your burden. If you think like we're not using it at our company, well, you can adapt to whatever you have at your company. I hope you have like something like Cursor at least, because those are the ones compatible with AI. Of course it is. For manual testing, AI is great, not only for creating manual test cases. Let me tell you, when I asked Copilot to use the MCP server with Playwright and go and do the login, that's a manual test, right? You could do it yourself and create the results of the manual testing by yourself. How about if you ask the AI agent or the AI extension here to do this for you completely in an automated way, and you capture the screenshots of these steps? So can you replace the manual work, the manual testing, with a fully automated AI process without knowing automation? You can. That's possible. So if you think like I can try to do that one, I personally do it. So, but it depends on if the company is allowing you to do that or not. I mean, if you have permission to use Copilot or Codex and access to your application and use like certain testing mechanisms, yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, Bruno, this is like something that you know what? I would think about it as an opportunity. You know why? Because you can add this one also to your CV. Like you've used VS Code and you installed like suitable AI extensions, and these extensions 1, 2, 3. Copilot is quite popular And a lot of recruiters look for it. They really appreciate those who know it and know how to use MCP servers, integrate them with Copilot and use them in their work. And if you know VS Code, that means you know, and you can work with Cursor. So it's 2-in-1. Okay, AI extensions. Let me brief you. So for AI extensions, the first one that mainly we will use Copilot. Copilot gives you 1 month trial for free. So if you want to join our bootcamp, you can start that subscription 1 month pro for free. If you think about its payment, $10 per month. That's a cup of coffee. So if you want the whole year, it's $100 per year. So if you decide to go for this one, I showed you its power. If you decide to go for it, 1 month free trial with pro version that does whatever I showed you. If you think it's great for you, you can use it. Then in that case, you can subscribe either yearly or monthly. It's completely up to you, or maybe your company. Codex, this one. Codex, if you have a subscription with ChatGPT, you will have Codex access with no problem. So it depends on your access to ChatGPT. If you have the free one, it will provide you with limited edition of Codex. So yeah, those are the main ones. So for Copilot, if you want to use it 1 month free trial, it's available and it will not be a problem. It will not create any issue for you. You can try it first before subscribing with it. But trust me, for most of QA testers or QA engineers or those who use automation and AI, they really fall in love with, Copilot, and they would not hesitate using it if it is permitted within your company environment. This is a very good question, Janavi. This is like, do I need to know any programming language? Not at all. Not at all. But I assume, let me explain to you. I assume you already know as a QA, you already know some programming languages, right? So I assume that you should know some programming language in the background. For this course specifically, not at all. Not at all. Even like when I teach you about like load testing and performance testing, simple scripts with JavaScripts, I will explain to you how they work and I will show you how AI can generate them for you. So it should not be a problem. That's correct, Maya. Of course. And that's what exactly this AI course is designed for, to give you the basic knowledge that can, take you through the interview. Like when they speak to you about certain things in AI, you wouldn't say, I don't know, but you would be really able to explain yourself with that kind of knowledge that we provide in this bootcamp. Christian, let me read your question. Oh, of course, there is a huge difference. AI engineering program is related to AI itself, not testing. So it teaches you different types of scope. AI for software testing is specifically for software testing. And we assume your knowledge of software testing. So you should know now, I explained about, let's say, for example, Playwright, I explained about Selenium, I explained about PaLM. If you don't know PaLM, for example, how would you manage while doing these tests? If you don't know like API testing, if you don't know like database testing, you would stuck with those. Yeah, for sure. Yes, that is correct. We will use REST API. We will use Postman. I will show you a few things with Postman and AI, how it is integrated with Postman as well. But as I said, this course is designed for QA, for testers, for those who have knowledge of testing. So, okay. Leo, yes, that's possible. But as I told you, if you want to create here, the question of Leo is like, can we ask AI to create a project for us from scratch? 100% yes. But let me tell you, AI is just a tool. It's not like a human being can understand your like questions or instructions or prompts in a cognitive way. It passes information, it processes information that you pass to it. So if you pass garbage in, likely the output will be garbage out. So if you want to create a project from scratch with AI, you should have something like this: project guide or README or instructions, project instructions. How can you create those? First of all, your knowledge of QA. So you should have basic knowledge. What do I mean? If you want to automate any test, what do you need to do? You need automation framework, Selenium, Playwright, Cypress, etc. So you have to decide which one you will go for. So you will say this project is Selenium based. And with which coding? You want to use Java, JavaScript, Python, etc. We are restricting it likely to Java and JavaScript basically for Playwright. So we will use mainly Java, okay? And then what style do you want to use? POM, for example, page object model. You will have separate pages. What do you want? How do you want me to test? Do you want me to use TestNG? Do you want me to use JUnit? How do you want me to report? So if you provide all these details accurately, trust me, the outcome will be really a great structure of a project that you'll be really surprised. You'll say, oh, I would spend maybe like a week to create this project, but AI created for me like in 10 minutes. And we did this one, I mean, and we will do it in this boot camp, the coming one. Of course you can, Leonardo. That's subjective. I mean, that's possible. It is not exactly like something that I would really have a big comment here, but it is possible, yes. Yes, I am the one who is teaching this course, Jeff. So I'll be teaching this course. Okay, you're welcome, Crisia. So let's check other questions. Okay. Okay, good question, Umit, about MCP server. MCP server does not come with VS Code. Nothing comes with VS Code other than just the main functionality of VS Code. VS Code is an extendable IDE. So you can add extensions and MCP servers and other settings. So MCP servers, we will teach you how to pick them up, set them in the VS Code. Okay, cool. So this is how you should do it. We will do it together. We will teach you how to do it. So we will have a way to install these MCP servers and add them to our environment. Yeah. Okay, great. So we should really wrap up. I will read the last few messages. Okay. Last few questions. That's correct, Jeff. That's correct. Okay, I think I answered all questions. Ihsan, thank you very much. So guys, I think, yeah, it took much longer than what we expect, but your interaction is great. So that kept me also going. Okay, guys. So I hope we have answered all your questions, but let's say some of your questions are not answered, guys. So you know what? Please reach out. Do not hesitate to, give us a call, email us, book a call if you want, reach to our team. Just, try to, if you would like to inquire about on more things and more details, feel free to do that. Please reach out to us, discuss further. We are here to help you, to answer your questions. And well, good luck. I hope to see you guys in our bootcamp. And well, thank you very much for your attendance and interaction. Okay, guys, have a great one.